the Holy Spirit and you are out there witnessing for Jesus and maybe you get a little off, astray, Holy Spirit will immediately give you a check in your spirit. Isn't that good news?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to mess up when you're close to the Master, you're learning, you become a pupil, and you have the Holy Spirit. It's going to be hard to mess up when you go out there with this message. It is only the Spirit of God who enables one to carry on the redemptive mission of evangelism. Want me to say that again?
Yes, please.
It is only the Spirit of God who enables one to carry on the redemptive mission of evangelism. Jesus underscored this truth early in relation to his own work by declaring by what he did was in cooperation with the Spirit of God. Jesus affirmed that in his work, what he was declaring was in cooperation with the Spirit of God. How do we know this? When he went into the temple, they gave him the scroll, he opened it up, and he said, I am anointed to preach the gospel to the poor, to heal the brokenhearted, proclaim deliverance to the captives, open up the eyes of the blind, cast out demons, and set at liberty those who are oppressed. He acknowledged right at the beginning of his ministry, I can only do this through the power of the Holy Spirit. That's why when he was baptized by John in the Jordan River, were you baptized in the Jordan River?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, you were baptized in the Jordan River. That was the first earthly claim that Jesus was the Son of God. Put him in the water. This man, born of a virgin, worked in his father's carpentry shop. Okay? 30 years of age. They put him in the water. When he came out, what happened immediately? The Spirit of God descended on him, the Holy Spirit. And you heard the word, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. He was going to start his ministry. And he had to do it in cooperation with the Holy Spirit. Even Jesus didn't do it out of his own human ability, out of his own human intellect and wisdom. He did it in cooperation with the Holy Spirit. And so we're talking about evangelism, going out and sharing the word. Don't you dare do it with human intellect, human feeling, human wisdom. You've got to do it the way Jesus did it, in cooperation with the Holy Spirit. John 13:15 says, and this is Jesus, I have given you an example. Jesus saw to it that his disciples learned his way of living with God and man. Second part's important too. Jesus had a way of living with God and living with man. Yesterday, I was in communion with the Lord. I was, really close to the Lord. And I was driving. And I came to a part on the road where the road was going to end. I had to get over to the left lane, but there was a heavy traffic in the left lane. So I kind of cut off the guy behind me. Kind of. He knew I had to, come on. He knew I had to come over. He got mad. And you know what? Then I got mad. Wow. I was just in communion with the Lord. Feeling good. Loving God. And then this happened. That's why Jesus said, learn from me how I live with God and with man. How am I going to witness to that man in the furious condition I was in? And I even thought about that. Because I was going to chase that guy down. How can I witness to him about God? In the love of the Lord. In that condition. Wow. Can't do it. Can't do it. His disciples, Jesus' disciples, needed to know about his experience. How he lived with God and man. And it's only through, and this is the example Jesus gave us, prayer and understanding of the Scripture. I think we all know that Jesus prayed, and prayed a lot. Got up early in the morning to pray. When he was facing the cross, he prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. Did you make it to the Garden of Gethsemane?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus prayed there. Because he was going to face his toughest hour. His back was going to be scourged. And his hands and his feet were going to be nailed to a cross. And he prayed. And he even prayed this, if possible, remove this cup from me. But nevertheless, your will, not mine. And it says he sweat great drops of blood. Those in the medical profession will know this. When someone loses a lot of blood, they're in risk of losing their life. You always see this on these medicals. He's lost a lot of blood. You know? And there was no hospital that was going to give him a transfusion. It says in the Scripture, Lord preserved his life in that hour. With the amount of blood he lost, maybe he should have been dead right there in the garden. That's how much he was in prayer to the Lord. To the point where he was going to lose his physical life. He knew what was at stake. He had to get through that hour to get to the cross. Because in the balance were the lives of millions upon millions of souls. Maybe we're praying for just one person. But that one person was worth Jesus going to the cross. If he was going to die for one person, he would have done it. That's how important one person is. You're saying, I'm not just praying for one person. Pray like it means something. And God will come and preserve that life. Matthew 4:19. I will make you fishers of men. Jesus began giving his disciples his own authority and power to do his work. And he assured them that what they were doing was as though he were doing it himself. Wow. As I said, I've worked in a couple of government positions. And many times these positions, these government agencies, these entities, have a symbol. Like in the Old Testament, they had the ring with the signet. Nowadays, for instance, I worked in the sheriff's office. There's a star, a sheriff's star. And I had a little pin, I put in my jacket, little pin. That means I'm coming to you not only representing this agency, but I'm coming today in the authority of that agency. And people recognize that. There could be a meeting going on, hundreds of people attending, coming in the door. I would walk in, I got my little pin, which was the sheriff's star, and immediately, oh, please. We got a place for you right here in the front. All the way in the front? I'm talking. Yeah, all the way in the front. Really? Please sit down right there. You are going, when you are evangelizing, in the authority and power of Jesus Christ himself. When you speak, if you're speaking his word, it's as if he's speaking the word. Now, Jesus also reminded his disciples of the decisive nature of the gospel invitation. There could be no compromise with sin. And for this reason, anyone holding out on God was sure to be disturbed by the preaching of the word. Some people are going to reject the word. Some people that Jesus spoke to rejected the word. Remember the rich young ruler? Hey, I've been following the commandments, yeah, you've been following the commandments. Now go sell everything you have and give it to the poor. Did he do it? He walked away. Too much. Walked away. That was Jesus who said something to him. He walked away. Not everyone you talk to is going to accept the invitation. In fact, some are going to ridicule you and mock you. But isn't it better to be ridiculed and mocked for something that God is going to honor than for some trivial thing? I may go around and say the New York Knicks are the greatest basketball team on the planet. And I'm going to be mocked and ridiculed because they're not. And yet I'm still going to defend the New York Knicks. There's no reward in that. But if I go around saying, Jesus Christ is your only way to salvation and to eternal life, and I'm mocked and ridiculed, that's okay. Because God says, John 12:26, he's going to honor me for that. Isn't it worth standing for something that means something if you're going to be mocked and ridiculed anyway? John 15:16. This is our last scripture. Go and bring forth fruits. Jesus had built into his disciples the structure of a church that would challenge and triumph over all the powers of death and hell. He built it into his disciples. Remember, he's the master. He's the master carpenter. And he's building something in you. Sometimes when something's being built, it kind of looks a little messy, a little disorganized, a little unfinished. But he's the master builder. So if you've gone out, you've tried to share the word, and you come back maybe a little ashamed because you didn't really know everything you were talking about, or you've got some questions you didn't know how to answer, it's all right. Brick upon brick, precept upon precept in you. You're going to get there. Because, keep this in mind, some seed, some water, and some harvest. The word of the Lord does not return void. Even if you felt you messed up, if you brought forth the word of the Lord, it's not going to return void. Let's pray.